Hello and welcome. Now in this section we will start building this project which will be Twitter-like application, and we will make it real time as well. So we will be using obviously Laravel, we will be using React.js, and we will also be using Pusher to make it real time. Okay, so you will learn quite a lot of intermediate to advanced level concepts of Laravel in this course, and also you will be able to start combining React.js with Laravel. So you'll learn how to build the front end using React, and we will build a simple API that will handle the back end. So the first thing is obviously you need to create a fresh install of Laravel, right? And I'm sure you already have your own development environment set up, because I have already said in the introduction of this course that you need to have a basic understanding of Laravel, right? So obviously you have your own environment setup, so I'm not going to cover the installation process. Okay, so I'm going to be using Laravel Valet. If you haven't tried this one, make sure you try it. It's really awesome and it's pretty easy to begin with. It's not as complicated as Homestead, so this documentation should be able to help you install Valet. Okay, and if you are on Windows machine, I suggest you try this Laragon. It is extremely easy. That's what I saw when I watched one of these tutorials in YouTube. Okay, so you can give it a try. Laragon, I found it almost similar to Valet for Mac. Okay, it's really easy. You might want to give it a try. Okay, so in this video let's do the installation as well as database setup, and from the next one we can start developing. Okay, so let me open up my terminal here, and I'm going to install this inside a folder called L. Now you can create wherever you want, obviously, right? So I'm going to inside this folder L. Okay, and I'll list my files. I have a lot of folders already, a lot of projects there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new one. So using this command Laravel new, I'm going to name it a Lara tweet. Okay, so this is the application we're going to build. So obviously it will take some time, so I'm going to pause the video. Once it is done, I'll be back. Okay, so my installation is done. Okay, so I'm going to open the folder where I installed this new project, Laravel project. So it is inside L folder, and I named it Lara tweet. Okay, so this is the one. So let me drag this into Sublime Text. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is obviously work on env, so we can add our own database, username and password. We can update this, right? So before we do that, let me open up the SQL Pro. Okay, so this is the database I'm using. You might be using the similar or something other. You know how to connect to the database, right? Obviously. So I'm going to create new database. So new add database. I'm going to name it. So I'm naming it Lara tweet. Okay, so once we have that, we can come back to our env file and we can update. So the database is Lara tweet, username is root, and password is empty. Okay, and let's also change this app name from Laravel to Lara tweet. Okay, let's save. Let's open this project in browser. cd Lara tweet. Let's get inside. Valet open Lara tweet. Okay, so this is our first install of Laravel. So the first thing I want to do is create authentication. Okay, and that's really easy in Laravel. So let's run this command php artisan make auth. Okay, now before I run the migrate command, I want to make some changes to this authentication. Okay, In fact, let's do it and then we can see how to do that in the next video. Okay, so once we have the authentication done, let's run the migration as well. PSP artisan migrate. Okay, that's done. Let's refresh and we got the authentication. Beautiful. Okay, so we can register, we can log in. That's awesome. So what we need to do now is we need to make one small change. So when we register user, instead of name, we want to change this to username. So that makes more sense because we're building this Twitter-like application, right? So let's change this from name to username. Now there are a couple of different files we need to make changes in order for this to work. Okay, so we need to begin by changing the name in the form itself, this register form, and we need to change the migration. We need to change this register controller as well. Okay, so there are a couple of steps, so let's do that in the next video. All right, I'll see you in the next video.